Joining me now is former NASA astronaut and International Space Station Commander Leroy Chiao. Leroy, I've been so excited to talk to you this morning. I mean, talk about a big day ahead, and also talk about the significance and pressure of this launch today.
Well, sure. This is Crew 10 is going to be the relief crew, if you will, for the crew that's up there now, including Butch and Sunny. So they're planning to launch in around 12 hours from now. They'll spend about a week together up there, and then Crew 9 will come back in their own spacecraft, which is already docked to the station. So this mission was accelerated by a few weeks because President Trump asked Elon Musk and SpaceX if there's anything that could be done to bring them home sooner. And so they basically switched spacecraft. The Crew 10 was originally going to launch on a brand new Dragon spacecraft that is still undergoing its final testing and would have delayed the mission by a few weeks. And so they used one that they already had and rotated that one into the mix. And so that's why they're going to be able to launch a few weeks early.
Well, hopefully this does the trick. Leroy, you and I have talked several times on this show. I know you're friends with Sunny and Butch. I mean, their test flight was only supposed to last 8 days. Any idea how they're feeling ahead of this? I mean, I imagine a ball of nerves and excitement. I don't know. Have you spoken to them?
I haven't spoken to them, but yeah, you can bet their expectation of an 8-day mission came as a shock that they're actually going to be up there for this long. Certainly big personal disruptions, perhaps professional disruptions in their lives. But, you know, astronauts, we are trained to adapt to the situation, and they've done it beautifully. But you can bet after 9 months, even the most hardened astronaut who wants to stay up there is ready to come home. So I know they're eager to see Crew 10 arrive to complete their rotation, and then they can get in their spacecraft and come home.
Yeah, I keep saying, I mean, come on, sleep in your own beds, see your family, you know, have a home-cooked meal. Scheduled launch is for this evening from Kennedy Space Center in Florida, right? I mean, does it look like all systems go on your end so far?
Everything I've seen looks like everything's going smoothly. Fully expect them to launch tonight. SpaceX and Falcon 9 Dragon spacecraft had all been very reliable. Of course, there are other things like weather delays, but I haven't seen any forecasts that look like it's going to interfere. So I would expect everything to go well tonight.
Yeah, and take us kind of behind the scenes here as the clock is ticking down. What precautions are NASA and SpaceX taking to make sure that they get Crew 10 into space and then ultimately bring back Williams and Wilmore safely?
Sure. Well, you know, SpaceX has been launching astronauts to and bringing them back from the ISS for, around 2.5 years now, or maybe even a little longer. And so this is, they've got a routine down. That is, the folks down at the Cape know what they're doing. Folks in the Mission Control Center, astronauts are all well trained. So, you know, they're just going through the checklist. They're going through the testing and pre-launch procedures. And I expect everything to go very smoothly. It sounds like it's all going well. The astronauts, you can bet, are relaxed. I mean, they're excited. They're ready to go. But, you know, they're spending their time in quarantine, relaxing, going over some notes, you know, last-minute studying, and then, you know, getting ready to go strap in.
Let me just ask you a question, because it's not often that you get to meet or talk to an astronaut. I mean, before a launch for you, did you have any, like, traditions, or I have to have this meal before I get launched into space? Like, what were some of your rituals before takeoff?
Well, so one of the things I did was I grew up in the Apollo era. I was 8 years old when Apollo 11 landed on the moon. So that's what started my dream of wanting to be an astronaut. And so I knew those guys back then all ate steak and eggs for breakfast. So that's what I always had on launch morning. I'd ask for steak and eggs, and actually got some of my crewmates to switch and change their minds of just having some dry toast, and also went with steak and eggs.
Oh, yeah. Who wouldn't want that instead? Well, Leroy Chiao, thank you so much. I know if all goes well, Butch and Sunny could be back on Earth by this Sunday. Our fingers are crossed for them. Keep us posted if you hear anything before we do. Leroy Chiao, thank you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you.
And later on this morning,